This is Reckless chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Reckless. So are they stopping along the way?
They're stopping at other prisons and letting some people off and picking other people up. So they're switching out people. So when you get to Atlanta, Georgia, which is a holding facility, it's a transit. When you're in transit, they stick you down there before they classify a lot of people to get shipped right back out. And when you're down there in some of them spots, you never know how long you're going to be there. So I was there for 15 days. There's guys who've been in there for 6 months.
That's where that riot happened with all them Cubans, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. And I tell you what, that is an interesting lifestyle to live too. Like, so you go into this big, ginormous. This place is surrounded by. It looks like a castle. I mean, it's like something. Shawshank Redemption. Think of that. That's what the prison looked like. You go in, come off the bus, and it's predominantly a black area, black guards, black everything down there. You know, so
What's the percentage of white?
I'd say probably 20% when you go in that area. When you go in that prison, it's 20%. So they try to keep everybody comfortable, but when they put you in a cell, you know your cellmates are going to be because they don't want no problems either. They don't want a bunch of people getting all pissed off and have to deal with a bunch of protocol and paperwork. So
Do they keep the whites with the whites?
yeah. So I get there, and this place is so overcrowded. And for transit, and for guys who are leaving one area and going to other prisons and stuff like that, you know, they go there first. There's like 3 holding facilities like that in the United States that they do this out of. And this one in particular was these 2 tiers. They were freaking upstairs and downstairs, just like you see in the movies, except for there's 4 men in a cell for 2 men. So, yes, with a toilet and everything in there. So,
4 men in one cell.
yeah, I'm the last guy on the totem pole. I'll come in. I automatically, my mat is slid under the bunks. I sleep under the bunk every night in the very back.
So there's
Yeah.
a bunk bed, or is it 3? How
No.
is the bed there?
It's 2 bunks on the side of the cell. So 1, 2. You know what I mean? So it's 2 bunks. You walk through the front. There's so the bunks are on the left side. So you walk through the front, bunk, and then straight back in the toilet.
So where do the all 4 people sleep?
So the 2 guys in the bunk, 1 guy under the bunk, and 1 guy in the main living area.
What?
Yeah, I'm talking like a 8x5. You know,
That's crazy. So all day long you're just sitting in there.
man, sitting in there, you're like down 23 hours a day, except for on the Sundays, you're like down 24 hours a day in that. So what they let you do in the 1 hour you come out, you hit the shower or the phone, or you go to walk in this little 12 by 12 cage that's got sunlight.
Wow, that sounds like a rough stay.
Man, it was interesting survival because like so, and also it's interesting to get your mind off stuff. So we would create things to do. So really, these guys were all like humble that nobody wants to fight, so we're all cool. Nobody wants to fight. We understand each other's space and respect it. We understand that literally all just get a pair of boxers and a t-shirt and a pair of shower shoes and a towel and a mat. You know what I mean? That's what you get. So we're all pretty much wearing the same shit. So it's so hot in there the daytime that we're all sitting around nothing but our boxers, playing cards if somebody left a deck of cards, reading the same magazine that's probably been there for 6 months, or we made a parcheesi board out of like soap and toilet paper and drawing shit on the floor with soap. And so we would play cards all day, or that, read the same, we'd rip pages out of the magazine, and we'd share the magazine, and we'd read the same article 50 times over, pretty much.
So your bunk, your mat is underneath the bunk. So during the day, where do you sit?
Just in the middle of that floor on that concrete because it's so hot. That floor's nice and cool, you know. So we were all sitting in like a Indian style circle, like a powwow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long did you stay there for?
Only 15 days. I got lucky but they don't tell you. They never tell you where you're going or how long you're gonna be there. So
No, they never do. When you're getting transferred, they never tell you where you're going.
15 days into it, and I tell you what, I was so happy that they just came and said my name, pulled my number, and was like, "Come on, roll it up. You're getting out of here." I'm like, yes. I get on the bus from there, and I ride another 13 or 14 hours this time to Kentucky, to a medium high, to FDI Ashland, Kentucky. And that place was a different place than anybody, you know what I mean? That's the experience of being in federal prison. Like, so now I've experienced, you know, the lowest of the low. I've been in a hole. I've been in transit. I've been in a real crappy spot, and now I get to go to where, like, they call it the country club type shit. You know, that's where they send all these mobsters, all these members of different motorcycles. See, this is where motorcycle clubs come back into my life. Because there's a lot of motorcycle club people, guys, members, and stuff too have been federal indictments and charges. They're there, you know.
And what year is this? Because federal prison has changed quite a bit.
From 2005 to 2008, but it was like, so you go in this spot, and it's there's a lot of culture. It's a culture shock in there because there is literally, like you see in the movies now. Now you see the movie stuff. You know, you got this crew over here, you got these guys over there, you got this separation of color. Literally, when you go into the chow hall, it is 100% separation of color. You go in, right side goes to the right side. You know, whites go to the right, black and Mexicans go to the left. You know what I mean? And it curls back around, and, you know, just that's how it is. And then, just like in the movies, you see the homosexuals and stuff out in the yard in their own little world. You know, we used to we used to have like a softball team and a softball league, and they would play different tournaments throughout the thing because this was a big yard. You know, it was like 1,600 people in this place.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of teams from every unit, and so they would try to hit the softball on purpose and stuff out all the pedophiles and the homosexuals would sit way out next to the fence.
Would you see any of them getting smashed?
You'd never seen it. You know that it happened. You heard about it because it would never happen in the faces of other people.
They do it like in a cell or something, right? They'd come out
More
all locked up.
or less, they would do it like so. Everybody had to have a job in federal prison. They got this. There's a big thing called Unicor. Unicor is ran by the federal government, and it's what the government gets all their furniture, all their office buildings around the United States and more. It's where they get like all the uniforms for people with different places and everything. Unicor is a big industry within the federal prison system that provides them with all their goods for everything. So you got people who work certain things inside Unicor, and they got little secluded areas, and that's where they take care of business at. But
So they'll come out all lumped up.
if they come out, if they come out, you know, sometimes you just hear about some guys going to the hole or some guy going to the hospital. You know, you never really get to see aftermath. You just know it happens.
So how long do you stay in this prison for?
That's the last place I was at. So I left there in February 2008, I think. So I was there for over a year. I ended up.
Any big names that you came across there that you remember?
Yeah, actually, some cool stuff, man. So Richie Gotti, John Gotti's nephew. He was one of the biggest names there at the time I was there that I actually interacted with. My cellmate at the time was the biggest bookie on the compound when I got there, and I ran money for him and football tickets and gambling stuff all the time, every day. I got, I was like, I got to get in with the in people before I got myself in trouble. So it worked out because I was like, I didn't get crossed over with the wrong people or get stupid or do anything dumb. Like I was just sort of stuck in a cell with a guy, and he just sort of approached me and was like, "All right, look, you're my cellmate. This is how it's going to work. You're not going to go out here and do this and that. I don't need you bringing problems back to my cell or like that." He's like, "So look, stay low key, shut the, He said, just do, you're taken care of. Just you're like, this is your job. Help me out." All right, cool. And that's what it is. And that time went real fast because I had something to do every day besides just go to work. I worked on the rec yard. I got to choose the music every day that played on the speakers and stuff like that type stuff. You got there, just load some CDs and go out there and spray some disinfectant on the white pile. That was it. That's all I had to do. And then freaking I would do the other stuff. But yeah, Richie Gotti was out there. They had this little spot. They played bocce ball.
And he would hang out with all the other Italians and white people, right?
Yeah. Dude was really nice. From what you see in the movies, from those type of guys in that life and everything, these guys are like, they're very, what do you call it, inviting, like hospitalized, like people.
Hospitality. Yeah,
yeah.
They have a hospitality, right?
Yeah. So they would you would never just approach and go over there on your own. They would know what day you're going to walk through, and they were going to, put down their bed or whatever. So, it was, hey, come on over, type stuff. You want to play? I think, nah, I don't want to play. Yeah, they always invite me to play bocce ball. I'm like, nah, man, I don't play. So they put in their beds or whatever, and I would just leave, But it was that guy was there. All right, so one of my favorite people that I met in this whole situation, like somebody you wouldn't think that we would cross paths because of the race situation, but because I played music and I like music, sometimes these paths can cross in there. Yeah. And because this guy really was a very respectable person, I still interacted with him because I traded, tickets and made bets with people. So it didn't really matter at that point who I interacted with, as long as it was always just that type of strictly business thing and it was done,